Okay, so without further ado, is satellite connectivity going to be an important factor for your cellular service anytime soon? Apple investment enables satellite-based emergency SOS for the iPhone. Carl Weinscheck, this is dated today, November 11th, from the telecompetitor. All right, so emergency SOS via satellite will be available on the iPhone 14 and 14 Pro this month, according to Apple. Guys, that's pretty quick. Remember, they did the whole SOS thing, shows up in the upper right-hand corner of your display on your iPhone, and it's an emergency service connection. Should you have to have it or need it, it's there. Says here the feature will enable the phones to connect to emergency services even when they are outside of cellular and Wi-Fi range. Apple says that the feature is the result of a $450 million investment from its Advanced Manufacturing Fund. The majority of that funding went to Global Star, a satellite service based in Covington, Louisiana. The SOS feature uses special spectrum in the L and S bands. That's Ricky's favorite bands, by the way. The S band. He loves that band. Big shout out to RFK Tech. One of Global Star's 24 low Earth orbiting LEO or LEO satellites will receive a user message. Satellite relays the message to customized ground stations strategically located around the globe. All right. Pretty nice. I will tell you guys, this is a good feature to have. It's one of those features that you hope to never need, but should you ever have to have it, it's there for you. Once received on the ground, the message is relayed. It says the ground stations use high-power antennas designed and manufactured for Apple by Cobham Satcom in Concord, California. The antennas were installed in Global Star's new operations in Nevada and Hawaii, and existing facilities in Texas, Alaska, Florida, and Puerto Rico. In addition to communicating with emergency services via text, iPhone customers can use the Find My app to share their location via satellite. Quote, emergency SOS via satellite is a perfect example of how American ingenuity and technology can save lives, according to Apple CEO Jeff Williams. We are proud the service is enabled by leading U.S. companies and that our users can explore off-the-grid areas knowing they are still within reach of emergency services if they are in need. All right, so here's what those satellites, those base stations, ground stations look like. Huge, massive dishes that are picking up signal from space. This is the third piece of news this year on satellite to cell phone connectivity. All right, in September, the FCC awarded a commercial license to Link Global for a service that provides such linkage. The company said it would launch a constellation of satellites by the end of the year. SpaceX and T-Mobile said in August that they will use a slice of T-Mobile's mid-band spectrum to support connectivity between cell phones and SpaceX's LEO satellites. So here's my take, right? I hope and pray I will never have to connect to a satellite. I hope I'm never in that position. I hope and pray that you never have to be connected to a satellite. This is absolutely, fundamentally, in the worst case scenario, you should ever have to rely on a satellite connection. You always would want to be on a cellular connection, a terrestrial network connection. Because if you're on a satellite connection, it means that you're not anywhere near well-developed areas. You're like way out in the middle of nowhere. You are absolutely in the boonies. Or you might be on Boone's farm or something. And but like if you had to be connected, like something were to come up and something unforeseen, at least you know you got that in your back pocket. So it's a good feature for the iPhone. It's a nice investment by Apple to spend about $500 million to do this. Now, in terms of the money, that's 2 drops in a ginormous bucket, folks. That's not even a bucket. Let's rephrase that. It's 2 drops in a 55-gallon drum to Apple. They have so much free cash. They just print money, get money hand over fist. To give you perspective on how rich Apple is and how much money they make, they're worth as much as Amazon, Meta, or Facebook, and I forget what the other company was. They're worth like all of them combined. It's crazy. But they just print money. Everything they do, they make tons of money on. They're a profitable company. Everything that they do sells, right? Services, goods, products, phones, iPads, headphones. Everything's been a smash, right? Apple TV's taken off. You know, the audio stuff's taken off for them. The services, iCloud services. They print money. So this is not going to be an expensive thing for them to do. And it puts them on kind of like it separates them from the rest of the field. Like Apple separates them from themselves from Android. Because while the Android operating system can do satellite connectivity, there's no guarantee that service is going to be enabled. I don't see Google making these investments, right? Apple is. So it's going to become a differentiating service. And it becomes like a situation where people, they might make a purchase decision. Like, maybe I need to get away from, Android because they can't do this. Like, Apple does this. It gives people confidence that they're always going to be connected. And I know some of you guys have like questionable coverage where you live. You kind of live out in the middle of nowhere. It might be nice to have that backup, that from the cellular connection. Okay, so I asked that you guys, put up that, do that poll. And, let me know what your thoughts are on this. All right, so let's go ahead and close out the poll. And look, we got like 62 votes. And I think that's a pretty decent body. I think we have like, how many people we got in tonight? We got 66 people here. And I want to see what you guys have to say. Okay, so is satellite connectivity going to be an important factor for your cell service soon? 45% said no, 34% said yes, and 20% said not sure. All right, pretty good turnout from the SMT Nation. Nice job there, guys. Very nice. All right, so it looks like you guys aren't ready to go all in on satellite service. 45%. That's a majority. The yes got the 34%. So maybe it's a little too soon. Maybe it's a conversation to explore in a couple of years. Should that become more mainstream? You guys know that like the satellite providers, like Globalstar and all these companies, they're starting to like, they're trying to turn like cell service, like service connectivity to phones. They're trying to turn that into their next big frontier, right? They're moving away from like satellite TV and satellite internet and stuff like that. They think their satellite business is going to be salvaged and saved by SOS connections, like connections for calling and text messaging. It ain't going to save you, dog. High-speed internet's where it's at, for sure. That's where the big money is, at least.